Oke guys, kita masuki ke game pertama ya, antara BTK melawan Bloodhounds. Kita lihat aja guys ya. Di sini Mobazin dia pakai Fredrin ya, dan untuk Valam dia pakai Dirot. Dengan mid laner Ladisnya ya dari timnya Mobazin, sini Colette. Kita lihat aja guys.
It is a little bit scary for me though. We're in such a very dive heavy meta, right? The R lots, the minnow can go very deep. Same thing with the Faramis. But we have a Vexana here from the side of Bloodhounds, and that's the only CC that the Bloodhounds really have. So if they do end up falling, you know, early on, especially the early skirmishes that Dairoth is supposed to, you know, prevail in, it might be a very tough situation. They don't have the frontline CC.
Ya, dilihat dari fansnya sih emang BTK lebih banyak guys. Lah malah ya guys ya. Oke lah. Karena di sini kita telat dikit gak ngaruh guys ya. Kita bisa langsung lolos di sini guys ya. Nah, untung aja wifi-nya cepet kali guys. Oke, nah sini ya.
Unit and attack those off lanes quickly, you know, hit and run as much as possible. See if you can get the early game kill. You have the CC as well. Bokarasco though down in the mid side. There's already a first loss. BTK taking first.
Itu basic mainnya sambil jaga toko atau kerja guys dia guys. Maksudnya sama-sama kerja sih maksudnya. Entahlah.
They're a very fast team with this lineup, right? The CC goes into the backside carry, has a lot of dashes as well.
Templates sudah pastilah.
Another pick off here for the side of BTK is going to be 0-2 quite early on.
Turtle pertama guys ya. Nah itu guys ya, Nicolette guys. Kalian bisa lihat ya Nicolette ya. Cuma emang agak terang banget gitu guys ya backgroundnya ya. Buat Mobazin sih. Nah.
BTK here able to get the very first
Nah,
objective.
seperti biasa guys ya. Mainnya Mobazin guys, kalian bisa lihat ya. Betapa seriusnya dia, bro.
And you know, seems like he's struggling here at mid.
Yeah, what did we say? You know, what did I just say? I think Bloodhounds need to stick together. They're getting caught off. You see BTK, every time they make a pick-off, every time they make an attack happen, there's, you know, it's Cold World Nicolette, Milo rotates up from mid, it's Cold World Nicolette sticking together. Look at Stoner right now, he's all by himself. Bokarasco just getting back to lane. Bloodhounds need to pair up here, they need to trio up here, or else they're going to keep on getting picked off.
And, you know, I really think Bloodhounds have the better early game comp, especially when we, you know, don't count out the carry. Right, Dairoth, Matilda, Vexana. That's a very strong early game comp at top side here.
Ikat ala Valamnya tumbang guys.
Already goes down. Stoner able to just get away. Bokarasco drops the Eternal Guardian, gets the knockup, but it doesn't do enough in time. Valam, that's another
pause lagi guys ya. Kenapa ini guys ya? Mungkin sinyalnya ya. Soalnya kan mereka mainnya agak dalam 1 GH guys. Lah. Kok lama kali, bro?
Has been completely fair and verified. Luckily we weren't like 20 minutes in or anything like that.
Ini diulang lagi guys.
Quick for you guys, so let's jump back in to BTK up against Bloodhounds, and whether we like it or not, we are gonna have the full reset here. Maybe Bloodhounds can start this off a little bit differently.
Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit of a change of pace this time around. Bloodhounds kind of already, you know, quite honestly has seen the
harusnya lanjut guys ya, cuma ini enggak guys, ini terulang kembali bro. Wah, ini sih yang rugi sih dari BTK sih guys harusnya guys. Soalnya mereka tadi unggul parah bro. Wah, emang boleh guys, seperti itu emang boleh. Oke lah.
On here, so this time around, you know, it's definitely going to be a little bit more interesting this time. We could take a look at some of the
tadi unggul parah loh guys dari BTK.
But before that, Valam here.
Valam already being aggressive, very different. A lot of damage on a Cold World there. Cold World forced back. Bloodhounds definitely trying to crack the mid this time. Sleeps up against Basic in the bot lane this time. We have seen the lane swap over. This time EXP will be on the top side. But still overall, nothing too much happens.
And you know, I feel like this time around, the side of Bloodhounds, they definitely have a better understanding of what's happening, but it seems like the same story is being replayed once again.
Tempest gets first blooded just like last time, so yeah, the game is on its route.
Falam.
We left off. A lot of damage on Flam though. Flam fighting for his life in his own jungle right now. Bocarosco here to help out. Stoner a little bit late to the party. Like I said, Bloodhounds need to take these fights together. You know BTK wants to be aggressive. They're zoning away Stoner right now. Final slash does come out, misses, doesn't connect. But wait a second, a lot of damage to the Eternal Guardian on
terpaksa guys ya. Oke, Mobazane dapat bro.
Mobazane able to get it though, and BTK back off.
Yeah, but this time around, if you take a look at the gold lead, there's not much of a difference between both of these teams. Bloodhounds already having a much better game than what they did.
Milo.
With the 1 kill loss. Look at topside.
Look at the damage on to Mielo. But Mielo's still able to handle himself just fine. Able to get that kill early on. Up against Tempest is going to give him a nice little bit of a laning advantage, or at least a laning.
Tempestnya tumbang lagi bro. Kalah bayuan mulu dia guys.
Onto Tempest. We were worried about the off lanes. We were hoping that they would be able to keep up, but we're already seeing BTK get a little bit of the better.
And it's a tough lane, right? You're playing against the GOAT of North America, especially on the top side. And you know, there's a reason why we call him the GOAT, and this is kind of an R-lot that's been picked up before the side of Bloodhounds decide to choose the CC. So technically it's a counter matchup, but it's still looking quite in favor for Milo. Those 2 kills, but Boca here.
Nicolette, udah pastilah. Cuma dia bentar lagi juga balik guys ya.
Finally putting one on the board there. It's going to be important they clear the wave, and I think this is the moment they got to start running the hit and run. 3 of them sticking together, look for picks.
Yeah, and I think that's the advantage of a strategy that the side of Bloodhounds have, right? The Matilda with the fast rotation, the early game damage and penetration coming out from Falam, paired up with the CC from Boca, it's extremely hard to deal with, especially if everything lands on the same people. But Zane here gets the blue buff.
Yeah, loses his purple Falam. That's definitely going to hurt. Mobazane already a full level ahead of him right now. Maybe 3/4, but essentially a full level ahead of him right now. Falam having a trouble keeping up.
And, you know, we got a little sneak peek on the builds on the top side, right? Milo built like 3 or 4 of the little armor plates, kind of just denying away the damage that CC has. And that lane, it already sees like Milo already has the full control, full advantage, especially with the 2-0 lead. Now BTK pulling out the objectives here. You know, with the Fredrin, it's definitely very utility focused, and I do think
free turtle lagi sih bro.
Try and go engage maybe on the far end of things, right? Trade some of these early objectives into maybe like a tower push.
Free turtle bro.
BTK with the Minotaur, with the Fairmiss, and the Fredrin, those are very utility, very team fight oriented ultimates, and with a pick like Dairoth and Vexana, it kind of just
udah diamankan oleh Nicolette ya.
For me, and I think they really need to use that to their advantage.
Yeah, and it's exactly what they're kind of failing to do a little bit here. They're playing the more spread out. They're playing the more defensive route. It's like they want to just go into late game, and that seems to have been this habit that Bloodhounds have had for many of seasons, kind of playing for the late game, scared to maybe take the aggression in the laning phase. Like, if we look at the past 5 minutes, Cold World has consistently been on Bloodhound's side of the map. Been in their face, and even that last turtle, we saw Bocarosco kind of move up to the top side, but stop short, not wanting to fully commit with Falam into an EXP lane gank or anything, just kind of finding position. But Milo is going to be a little bit of trouble, and there goes the Abyssal Strike. It does miss though, and that's what I meant, losing that flicker.
The flicker loss is still quite heavy, because our lot does pair quite well with the final slash and the flicker. He's able to make a lot of plays if he needs to. So, but he's not going to have that utility over in the next objective. So if the side of Bloodhounds decide to go for maybe a pick, right? Maybe not contest, but definitely go for a pick. They might be able to single out Milo here, but they still have to go through the Minoan's Fury, the Cold Altar, the Fredrin in the front side with the knockups and the CC. It's a very, very hard front to back composition that the side of BTK have kind of made it their comp here.
A bit of damage on a Mobazane there. Bokarosco still holding
santai
onto
dulu
the
guys ya.
trigger, not ready to pull just
Ini
yet.
lebih ke
Has the
farming
Eternal
dia
Guardian
dulu
ready to
guys ya.
go.
Sama-sama beli
Stoner
Thunder
gonna
Belt
keep
bro.
positioning, but here comes the big play onto the gold
Sleep.
lane. A lot of damage on a
Tidur.
Sleep. Flicker's
Turu
blood
gak tuh ya.
catches the torn apart memories and goes down.
Auto turu guys.
Another kill for
Aduh.
BTK. Now Turtle's going to be up. Bloodhound's looking for position over it. It's a 3v3, but Bokarosco's got to hold down in the gold lane. Cold World making his way up. Circling Eagle does come out, but the final slash knocks all three members.
Tumbang lagi bro. Stoner juga tumbang. Dah tumbang 4 gak tuh ya.
It's a 4-man for nothing. BTK comes out on top.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of damage coming through with the impact that Flam has with his Dairoth, right? Typically, when we see Dairoth, we should be able to see kind of a clean brawl out for him, and he's just, you know, getting you as low as you're getting him. But that fight inside of BTK, they all came out
free turtle lagi buat Mobazen ya. Jadi perfect turtle bro.
You know, they did have the support of the Minotaur coming through a little bit towards the end, but it doesn't feel like Bloodhounds is able to kind of do anything with the aggression, the bully ball.
Counter-Strike udah diamankan oleh Milo.
The bully ball, it's exactly what it is right now.
Milo tumbang guys ya.
Able to get the shutdown. It's going to be a nice little chunk of gold into his pocket there. But BTK still trying to bully around this jungle. Mobazane sitting on the orange buff. Stoner trying to get a position over him, but Nicolette's there to help out at any moment needed. Priceless Wrath comes down. A lot of damage onto Sleep. Stoner able to get a small knock up. Sleep's just trying to get away, get taunted and taken out. Out comes another round. More damage unfolding from BTK. A double kill from Mobazane. More damage. Basic takes out Boka. Next on the top,
triple kill guys ya Mobazen guys. Bisa aja tadi mainnya guys ya.
The amount of CC that BTK has prepped in this draft paired up with the displacement of the Faramis is really, really hard for any teams to handle, and especially with the comp that the Bloodhounds have. They don't scale that much into the late game. They have the carry, but they don't have any lockdown CCs like a Minnow or even the Fredrin. Right, so you know, Bloodhound's struggling here. We kind of saw it coming already. Yes, they do have that early game damage. They have a very fast rotation, but typically you do want to pair the Matilda up with something utility focused, so you get the 50-50 off, and then maybe use the second skill to be able to just jump back at the top side here. Tempest.
This is tough, man. Tempest taking a lot of damage. Cold World looks for the knockup. Bloodhound's now trying to collapse onto Melo. Nice hit. Tempest able to pick up the kill. BTK still unable to take the tower just yet, but in comes Mobazane. Look for the tie. Able to get a lot of damage on Tempest there. Flam also taking shots to the face, but Bloodhounds defending with everything they can. Bokarosco now getting involved once again. Nicolette with another realm, able to keep Mobazane chunky.
Gila, ini diperangin lagi bro. Gila, diterobos langsung loh. Wih, nah, boleh 1-2 ya. Langsung ngambil Lord aja sih guys.
And BTK really set up that fight quite well in their favor, right? There was opportunities to dive early on, but they chose to kind of bait out some of the skills, get into a better position, get Zane to get the bonk off quite early. But mid here, Boka.
Oh, so much damage coming from BTK right now. Basic also starting to unload. 3-0-3. It's becoming a problem.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem. 13-3 is the overall score. We're looking at almost a 7K gold lead already for the Kings here. And, you know, Bloodhounds is definitely struggling a little bit in terms of the early game. You see the bonk on the bot side. Right? Zane was able to go in, get the pressure on him. Three members and Basic on the backside just completely free hitting in the whole entire team.
Tadi diambil basic cuy. Andai kata gak diambil basic sih udah pasti maniac guys ya. Loh, Lordnya udah diambil oleh BTK ya. Karena BTK gak ada yang tumbang loh guys. Ini BTK yang terlalu kuat atau Bloodhound yang lemah bro?
Yeah, and this is going to be the time where BTK is going to be looking to group up, get a 5-man siege, get Basic onto a good front-to-back position, so they get a good team fight coming through. And look at the pressure that Cold World is just having. None of the members of Bloodhounds is trying to take that alternate route to be on the backside of the Minnow. They really are just running into the back, and with no assassins on Bloodhounds' team, it's going to be very hard for me, for the side of Bloodhounds to be able to get onto the backside, get onto Basic or Nicolette, and be able to pressure some of their damage dealers from the side of BTK.
A 3,000 gold lead just about for Basic. Oversleeps right now. That's a thick boy right there. That damage is starting to hurt right now. You take 2-3 shots from Basic, you're out. You pair that up with the torn apart memories, and he's taking out multiple people at once. BTK kicking down doors right now. Bloodhounds, and you mentioned earlier the lack of CC, the lack of surprise from them. It's a problem. They have no way to stop Cold World from just coming in their face like this.
Milo.
Second final slash. Tries to pull him out of the tower, but the Eternal Guardian comes down on multiple members. Still not enough. BTK still at their door. Knock, knock. Just wait, and they take down one inhibitor. They're looking for another. Nicolette comes in through the wall with the Shadow
Gadis Pemberani, guys, ya
Nicolette itu guys. Just yet, but another wave of minions is coming. Top side, mid side. BTK looking for the strike. The Abyss Strike comes out from Falam there, just trying to clear the wave. But BTK
basic tahun 4 memori. Nah, kayak dapat gak tuh Mobazin ya? Lah, wipe out sih guys harusnya. Nah kan, giliran basic yang triple kill bro ya. Boleh 12 menit doang ya. Mobazin dengan muka santainya dan ya tegang juga sih guys. Oke lah guys ya, kita lanjut ke game yang kedua guys ya. Kan ini BO5 guys. Bye bye. Mantap ini loh guys ya, Nicolette guys, ladies loh.